Season 4 is by far one of the best seasons yet of Singles Inferno. And shout out to Yul. Hi you guys, this is Rain Said That, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now if you see my last video, you know I'm trying to figure out what did I miss, what went wrong, what I did not see. When did Seon and Yul fell in love? Okay, and obviously I missed it in between of me being on girl time and then me being delusional and then me just seeing what I wanted to see. I missed a whole lot. And so sometimes when you're overlooking things, you need to learn what went wrong. You have to go back. So I went all the way back to the first episode when he first laid eyes on Seon and he ended up picking Eugene. Now it wasn't anything personal that he picked Eugene. Like he said, I think she just made him feel more comfortable, being that he is definitely a shy type of guy. And remember, he was my first pick. I don't even know what happened to then now he was public enemy number 1. I really do not know what happened. I kept changing my mind. Seon kept changing her mind, and then everything just got lost in the sauce. But luckily the footage doesn't lie. So Seon and Jangu was on their first date. Basically, it was kind of sort of like love at first sight. You know how you just meet a guy, you meet a girl, you both attractive, you both liked each other, you get the butterflies in your stomach. You know, it's just a perfect date. And that was just on Seon's side, because obviously Jangu wasn't feeling like that. And honestly, when you are so in love on the first day, you start to miss little things about the red flags. And the red flags started when they got into the helicopter and Yul had to help her put her seatbelt on. And Jangu was not even worried about her. Okay, he was just worried about himself. Okay, so when she said that she's wanting a kind and considerate guy, it was never Jangu. And I was on my Jangu hate train for a while. You know, I'm not saying that he's in the wrong at anything like that. It just came to the matter of character and the heart. And Jangu's heart wasn't in it until the last minute. Okay, so basically she's all in love with him from day one, and he's still, you know, about to explore his options. I mean, he don't even know you. It's just the first day, you know. So it does take guys sometimes a little bit longer for some guys. At Mental, you know, she had her eyes on Yul, and he was her number 1 for her, and she fell in love with him. She fell into enchanting, you know, mesmerized with Yul on this date when he was explaining his age, what he do. You know, he likes to do art and things of that nature. And honestly, Yul has been his true self the whole time. The whole time. And I don't even understand why I did not see it. Why I kept flip-flopping. Because honestly, I was just so stuck on Seon and her infatuation with Jangu, and then Jangu is just, you know, not in love, and my girl is just giggly for him. So honestly, after that and how things played out, it just looked bad for Yul. Like, you know, him being friends with Theo, him being friends with Jangu, it just looked bad. But honestly, it's not his fault. Everything happens for a reason. Okay, and this is where the moment begins with Seon and Yul, where she was doing her best to win this challenge, and everybody thought that she was going to pick Jangu or Theo, but then she actually ended up picking Yul. And I think that moment when she was in the helicopter and she seen that he was helping her with her seatbelt changed her mind, because, you know, when somebody care about you, it'll be a natural type of thing. And remember, I was telling you guys that Seon was always forcing moments with Jangu so he can be, you know, naturally take care of her. If it was such a natural thing, he would have done it in a helicopter. But honestly, he just does it because he's used to it. He's on autopilot. He just have manners and chivalry. So just because he's doing those things to you does not mean that he cares about you. This is why you have to be careful sometimes. Sometimes guys do things because, you know, they're just used to doing it. But Yul was doing it because he actually cared or had some type of feelings for Seon. It was an interest. And then Jangu sitting over here telling him that Halen is his ideal type. Halen is his number 1, right after you were just cheesing all in Seon's face. So this is where I think this is probably where Yul was like, okay, well, he's going to go ahead and make his move on Seon, because Jangu did sit there and tell him that Halen is his number 1 choice. right? Didn't even care. This was after the campfire as well. So he has a lot of explaining to do. And this is why I was going so hard on Junsu, because you're acting like that Seon is your number one pick, is your number one choice, but as soon as Haylin comes, you just switch up, and then only to even not even like her at the end. That's crazy. So maybe he was just telling, Yuk that, at the moment, because that's just how he felt. And then the more he kept getting, to know Haylin, obviously things didn't turn out right. But he was definitely 100%, 1,000% into Haylin. And he was enjoying the attention that he was getting. He was feeling like he was the man. His ego was inflated. Everybody wants Junsu, and women just can't get enough of him. That's what he was thinking. See, he thought he had it like that. And now when I was telling you guys about Jian and who was her pick, remember I wanted this guy right here, hottie with the body. I wanted him in there for my girl Jian. Okay, this was her match. This is her true match. She had to settle for Taewon. Sorry to have to say it, but she had to settle for him, because I told everybody to pick him. Nobody did. They picked Hoon, and I don't even like him. I didn't like him. Like I said, he had a nice body, but just wasn't his face. Keon, I think his name was Keon or something like that. He was the best match for Jeon. But we would never know. Hopefully he hit her up in the DMs or something like that. Now, this is the moment where they was waiting on a new guy to come back from paradise, and this is when Yuk was saying that he was waiting for SiAn and Minsul to come back from paradise. He said SiAn names first, so that means that his interest was piqued ever since. And this is where SiAn finds out that Jeongsu was in paradise with Haylin, and she was so mad. She was in her feelings because she really, really wanted to see Jeongsu, because that's where her heart was at. That's where her mind was at. This is where she was following him around Inferno like a lost puppy, and he was out here thinking that he had options like that. So yeah, that's what she was mad. But this is when Yuk started to show interest in SiAn. Even Minsul caught it. Theo was catching. The vibes were definitely there. The vibes was there, and everybody was seeing it, because he was in love with SiAn. You see how the look on his face? This was the moment. It was very pivotal. This is the moment that I didn't see. I don't understand why I didn't see it at first, but this was episode 5 where he began to show his interest in SiAn, and this is where they had that playful moment in the pool. Now, when I say Yuk is the realest on the show, he literally called out Minsul when she was watching them in the pool. He literally said, "Oh, Minsul, you're sitting over there looking envious." If you guys want to go back and check that out, he literally called her out in front of everybody. I'm like, oh my gosh. Now Theo is hot. Okay, he is mad because he know that SiAn and Yuk got something going on. He is mad because he really can't compete, because honestly, Yuk is definitely being genuine. He's actually being true to himself, and he is actually being very thorough with his emotions. I always said that he had emotional intelligence, so no, I'm not backpedaling. But like I said, I don't know what was going on. Well, I do know what was going on those last couple of weeks when I was watching the show. But like I said, I had to go back to see. So honestly, at first, like she was telling everybody, she wasn't really sure. She was just having fun. She just wanted to go on dates. It was really fun until, he was like, "Oh, I have feelings for you." She was like, "Oh, we thought we was just flirting. It was lighthearted energy and things of that nature." And then he literally told her that, "I'm interested in getting to know you, SiAn." And that's when she started to take it a little bit more seriously, because she thought that we was just having fun this summer for the next 10 days. She didn't really think that it was possible for her to even fall in love with anybody on a dating show. And Jeongsu, this is the moment where he lost her. This was the moment right here. He lost my girl SiAn when he sat there and lied in her face, saying that he did not have any feelings for Highland. And he was like, "Oh, who told you that I was talking to her for a long time?" She was like, "The guys." He was like, No, I didn't. You're lying. You sat there and lied in her face. And she knew that you were lying. You even looked like you was lying, and you was just looking straight guilty. I really don't understand why he just wasn't keeping it 1,000 with her in her face. But this is why he ended up fumbling her and losing her in the first place, because he wasn't being honest and he was playing games. And I was telling y'all how much games that he was playing, and I was done with him because he was playing all those games with my girl and she wasn't having it. So honestly, he made this situation easier for her, for Yul to come in. Now, when she went on this date with Yul, I definitely was not expecting this to get as deep, because again, I had to rewatch it and listen with my heart and not with my ears and not with my brain, with my heart. Okay. So she's sitting there having a whole conversation, and Yul is actually picking up her energy being uncomfortable. Okay. She's sitting in his face and he's like, okay, there's something going on with you. And she was like, oh no, I'm okay. I'm okay. And he's pushing her and forcing her to actually be real and honest, not for fun, not for TV. He's actually pushing her to open up her emotional, walls, because she's very guarded. She doesn't tell people what's on her mind, just like Yul. And at this moment, you get to see that she cannot hide herself from Yul, her heart from Yul. And she's beginning to realize it, because he's literally opening her up little bit by having this conversation with her and getting down to her actually acknowledging her feelings and letting her know that it's okay for her to have these feelings. And the more, they're opening it up to each other, because they were actually asking some deep questions on here. And honestly, I felt like it was even more than being on the show. It was more even behind the scene, behind the scene things. Like, she was actually 100% comfortable being herself, and he broke her walls down. And this is when she was starting to, get emotional, because he hit her heart. That's what happened. This happened to me before, when I was with my nieces one time, and we were in a car, and I was teaching my niece how to drive. I know this is not even on subject, but I started crying, and then we all started crying. And when somebody touches your heart, you're going to feel it. So this is why I was confused, because I wasn't really listening. I was really just trying to hurry up and get the episode out. But he hit her heart, and she didn't know what to do, because it was unexpected, because he's actually being 100% real, and he's being 100% genuine. And that's just something that you cannot fake. Okay. When you are talking to somebody and you being intimate and you getting close to somebody, you can actually feel their energy. And when he broke her down like that, and then she went and left, and she was crying in the bathroom, I feel as though when he was walking back, he was actually wiping his eyes. If you guys want to turn into the episode, I think it was it episode 5 or 6 or 7? I forgot. But yeah, this scene right here, when she started to break down and crying, she was like, oh my God, I think it's from the drink. And she was trying to, cover it up, to bring it out on the drinking, but it's because he literally opened her up, and she's vulnerable at this point. And she actually felt safe enough with him to show him her true self. It's not about the liquor, like I was saying. It wasn't about that. And he seen her crying, and it touched his heart. And this is where the love began at this night, when he was looking so crazy in his face mask. This is why when he was testing her, when he reached over her to the clock to see was she gonna budge, was she gonna move, was she really comfortable with him, are they really on the same page? And they were. So he was in his feelings, she was in her feelings, he was tingling, she was tingling. And this is actually a real TV moment. This wasn't like acting, this wasn't fake or anything like that. Like, the vibes were there, the moment was there, the opportunity was there. But the only thing that was ruining it was the cameras in the room, and we all are watching it. That's what ruined the moment. So yeah, this was the moment, this was the episode where they literally became inseparable. this was when the competition was over.